is the
professionals.
Northern Broadcasting Service, brought to you by the North Pacific's Ministry of Communications. I am Darcania, and I am joined by Bootsie, Lozinak, StGeorge, and
Hello.
our first topic of the day.
Hi! Yeah, first topic.
Our first topic is the judicial election. Now, frankly, I was surprised by Lord Lore winning. I was strongly expecting BMW Surfer to win that one, actually.
Yeah,
Scorch
put up
and
a good
Zyvet
campaign.
were pretty obvious to win, but I was not expecting that upset.
I wasn't expecting Scorch to win. Like, he joined the judiciary and then recused himself for, like, his entire term. What?
Well, that's pretty much what everyone did, because, like, pretty much
Yeah.
all the requests for the majority of requests for reviews had to do with an original request for review, which meant that the actual sitting court had to recuse himself.
I mean, I know, but my point is that it's
Okay,
like,
so why exactly did you want Zyvet to win then? If that's your excuse for not electing
well,
Scorch,
no. So Zyvet has been doing this for a long time, and as we all know, it's literally his job. This is his job.
No,
Right.
his speaker was his job for the longest time. He just randomly moved to the judicial after a while.
No, I thought like in he does legal stuff, like as his like livelihood.
I mean, if you want a justice who knows the laws, you can't really go wrong with Zyvet.
I mean, no.
If you don't want a justice who knows the law, then you vote for Yalkan.
I know, right? Exactly. Oh, it's okay, guys. It's only all my fault, technically.
Well, I thought BMW put up a good campaign for a first-time campaign.
absolutely, I definitely thought he was going to win, but I don't know how Lore got all those votes. I mean, I'm happy that Lore's the justice now, but
I don't even know.
kind of came out of nowhere.
He got those votes by name recognition. Who on earth is BMW Surfer?
That's true.
Yeah.
Look, Law has his name out there because he's been a perennial candidate in pretty much every election I can think of. He's run for something. Like when he's been here, so he has enough recognition that I'm not surprised that he won.
He's
Like,
also
overly
been around
surprised.
long enough and is also known in RP and for running the map. And beyond that, like, anyone who knows stuff beyond TNP knows of his plethora of positions in several UCRs.
Who did I vote for? Oh, I voted for no one.
Yeah, you
Right.
just abstained because you hate democracy.
I really do. I really do. It's useless.
That's why I'm an admin. You don't need democracy for that.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
This message brought to you by TEP. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I know, right?
TEP.
God, speaking of TEP, funny joke, guys. Real hilarious.
Well, I was fooled.
Yeah, they got me.
I mean, I want to say I was fooled, but that kind of requires being invested, like, so to speak. It's like I mean, I know it's very important, and I know, like, that's a big deal. You know, GCR getting all, like, turning, what was it? Like, what were they doing? Like, imperialist or something? I don't know. They were seizing control, seizing the means of production. Anyway.
There's oligarchy.
Yeah. Point is that I just thought to myself, like, good for them. Good for them. Good on you know. I'm sure they'll do good or whatever. I don't know. Look, I haven't exactly been around NS, all right? I went to the West Pacific once and like left immediately. So that's my foreign experience in a sentence.
That's what I do.
I mean, also the fact that they said it's an early April Fool's joke, like, that's stupid. I'm sorry, but you can't do things early.
They were probably expecting to keep on to the ruse until April 1st, but they got so strong of a reaction from so many people who fell for it.
I mean, that just means they should have done it later. I feel like they should have just
I think they weren't expecting people to fall for it quite so hard. Like, it was actually starting to damage their foreign relations.
Well, I mean,
And like they warned allies ahead of time. Like I heard Gladio got told by like, hey, we're having this little April Fool's thing. But at the same time, like, it's not just the leaders who determine relations with other regions. It's also like the actual people.
Yeah,
that conspirator list.
I mean, I want to say that it's like April Fool's, like, I understand like jokes and gags and stuff, but like it's a nice kind, like, there's like, it's kind of like, oh, I like saved your, like, you push someone you like over a cliff or something, and you save their life, so to speak, quote unquote. This is just like yeah, we're throwing out like your freedoms, they don't exist no more. It's like, what? Why? That's not something exactly you joke with, especially with, like, I understand, like, but some people obviously, yeah, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's not funny. it's like we're joking, guys, we're joking. Are you really?
It was funny as far as I'm concerned, and I was completely fooled. So well done,
I mean, no, I think
it must have amused the members of TMP government who knew when I was going off in voice chat yesterday.
I mean, I thought it was fun. Yeah, I chuckled but I'm not there. That's why I'm laughing. Like,
yeah.
I'm over here looking into like my neighbor's yard and going like,
I feel like for you two would be laughing regardless of whether it was real or not.
I mean, seriously, honestly.
Yeah,
That's about sounds about right.
I feel like the reason it like fooled so many people is because it wouldn't have been surprising.
I mean, Yuno's already basically like the lifeblood of TEP. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Yuno is the new Todd.
Oh my goodness.
Yuno has fully usurped Todd, and it's now Yuno's region. So congrats to Yuno.
Awesome.
Like that, I think part of what made people take it so seriously is that it's probably, I mean, I hate to say this, but it's probably something that Yuno would probably be able to pull off relatively well, considering the current circumstances.
Well, I mean, it was well done. Everything looked very official.
And it makes a lot of sense in hindsight. However, it's still sort of, it's just not very surprising, like they're everywhere. Like she's everywhere, right? So she's got friends. She's got like, it's not all surprising that it's like, yeah, we're gonna take over this. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. It's like she went on stage. She said this thing, expected everyone to laugh, and there was just dead silence, and everyone's like, all right, what next?
Not to get political, but do you think that's how the Trump campaign started?
Oh God, probably.
Silence in an auditorium.
Honestly, yeah. Everyone was just like, yeah, good idea.
And on that topic, and on that note, let's move on to. Actually, we kind of skipped ahead in topics there, but we were talking about the justice election, and then we kind of talked about the court situation before.
We want to talk about ours.
Yeah, let's talk about the request for reviews.
Oh God.
They're finally over. I finally got to count
please
the vote.
don't give me PTSD.
Hashtag Dark can count again. Hashtag the numbers.
I actually very specifically, like, I could have totally just counted it in private and just kept the results to myself and didn't post it. But, and as actually, Silly String actually brought that up, like, you could have counted ahead of time and just not actually posted about it, right? And then I responded with one of my classics, far be it from me to reject the court's statement on my mathematical capabilities. And so I just did not count it until they finally said, okay, you can count it now. And then I was like, well, shit.
Oh man.
Because it's like, oh god, now I have
What's
to
the
go
result?
back and like see who lost citizenship, who had citizenship at the time, check the timestamps of every post, all that stuff. But as it turns out, Google Sheets has a versioning control system, so I just reverted the citizen sheet to how it was at the end of the vote, and was like, okay, now we count it with this sheet instead.
Nice.
Yeah, that was really convenient.
So what was the result?
The result was 24-24. I think.
Are you kidding me?
Let me actually double check.
I thought it was 24-25.
No.
No. It
No,
was
you're not-
24-24 because the original vote I counted it as like 25-26, but I didn't realize that 3 votes were cast after the end of the voting period, so I quickly discarded those votes and recounted it to make sure it was 24-24. It failed by exactly 1 vote. If it got 1 more aye, it would have been majority support and passed.
I'm just so mad. I'm just so mad. I'm not mad, but I'm just furious.
Yalkin's always mad.
I really no. I hate law. I hate it.
Weren't you a justice once?
Yeah, made me hate it even more. No, okay.
Oh yeah, it
But
also
I-
had nobody abstained in the vote either.
Very strong opinions.
I don't even think I vote. That's because I didn't vote, obviously. That's why no
Yeah.
one abstained. Damn. If only.
No, you actually voted aye.
Wow. Jeez, that was back in the day when I believed in the system.
Yalkin should abstain, but should be allowed to post disdain instead.
Yeah, just disappointment. All right. Yeah. So that's good. It's good. It's over. That whole just clustered fudge akins is over. Thank God. There are people who are now screaming, "I'm free." Wait, who are the final people? Who are the who are the final THOs who did the thing? It was Lord and Sil.
Lore wasn't a THO. He was an actual justice.
Yeah, no, he was
And it was Sil and Kagoria, I think.
Okay, man.
Was Sastin still in at that point?
No, Sastin. Oh, it might not have been Law. It might have been 3 THOs, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. The final ruling was delivered by Lord Lore, crushing our enemies, and Sil Dorset.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Wait, was that the offer of the offer?
Yes. The original request for review was withdrawn by Lord Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
But the request for review on that request for review was still going on and was ordered by a request for review on that request for review to be re-reviewed. And if you're lost, don't worry, most of us were too.
Jeez.
I'm still mad at Laura thinking, you have to recuse yourself. I'm not a THO anymore. Oh my god. It's fine. It's a good start. Good start, Laura. Good start. You know the law better than I'm sure.
And yet you argued with him about it.
Hey man, it's because I don't want anything to do with any of that. Besides, me making people's lives difficult over words is hilarious. So why not? Why not?
All right. Well, going on from the judicial election and the cluster fudge that managed to, in the end, resolve, even if it was by happenstance,
Mm-hmm.
we have the general elections coming up soon,
Awesome.
which we currently have. I think the current forecast for who will run is the incumbent Gladio and also our very own Bootsie.
Boots.
And also,
Yeah.
of course, Yalkan, who will be nominated and then ignore it.
Don't forget Maul.
Oh, is Maul actually running?
Well, Maul
It's-
always runs.
Is Maul alive currently?
Yeah, I
I
haven't
haven't
seen him
seen
in a
him in a
while.
while, but he'll probably be back around that time.
I would honestly like to see. I would honestly like to see Malf run. Maybe not this election, but next general election.
Do it, Red.
But he would make an interesting prospect.
Just the
wish you
rats
could respond
finally
to that,
taking
dude.
over TNP from the inside. Just like rats crawling out of TNP's eyes and mouth.
Oh my god, how horrific.
Rats
Rodent
take
Party.
over the sinking ship instead of fleeing it.
I mean, he's already the head of the NPA. Let's be real here.
Which traditionally has served as a launching pad for a delegacy run.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the support of the NPA,
EW
you're
was
basically a voting
Ministry of-
bloc.
Yeah, I mean, Evil Wolf was Minister of Defense and became delegate. McMaster was Minister of Defense, became delegate. Gladio is the perennial Minister of Defense and is now delegate.
I was Minister of
6
Defense
terms.
for a month, and now I'm Speaker.
Oh, yeah, but you know, I wouldn't wish the delegacy on you.
Yeah, you actually like me.
Huh.
Or more like I know you wouldn't enjoy it. I think you'd be very good at it, but you're like Silly String, who I also don't think enjoyed the delegacy, despite being a good delegate.
No one enjoys. Who actually enjoys the delegacy?
No. There are players who definitely enjoy delegacies.
I mean, I'm not saying. I'm saying in TNP.
I would say Macedonia probably enjoyed their delegacy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure MCM would be one of them.
MCM
Raven, I
strange.
think Raven generally would enjoy it if it weren't for all the baggage that people bring to bear whenever he goes for the delegacy.
Man,
think
the
he
rant
enjoyed
I could
his-
do on that.
I think he liked his first term a lot better than he liked his second.
Yeah. hmm
Noted. Awesome. I mean,
I think Palaith, I don't know. It's hard to tell with Palaith, but I think he generally did as well. I think he really
Yeah,
grew into the role pretty well.
I would make him a dark horse to run in this election. Maybe if
Pally?
it goes to maybe if he gets Rond, to all hell, he'd run the second vote, and I think he could win.
I think so too. I agree with that assessment, but I don't think it would go to Ron in the first place.
Yeah, something would have to change between now and the election for it to go to Ron.
Yeah,
Scandal.
Someone would have to run for a very strong Ron campaign,
don't worry, guys. I got this.
which Ron campaigns are pretty rare.
So we're thinking Gladio's definitely running, probably running again.
I'd be surprised if he
Bootsy's
didn't.
definitely running.
He's
Boosie's
said.
about as obvious about it as Raven was. So not at all. Boosie's definitely running. There's the joke candidates, but we can discount them because they're the joke candidates.
I'm
And of
not
course,
a
Maul.
joke candidate. All right?
You're not going
I'm
to run for the delegacy.
Who said? Maybe now I will.
I'm more likely to run for the delegacy than you are.
I mean,
Challenge,
Actually,
Yalkan.
Yalk ran for the delegacy once.
but that was a joke campaign. That was. Just,
You got quite a few votes, though.
I voted for myself. Okay,
Still got quite a few votes.
got 5.
And you're the exact kind of person who would break stagnant traditions that we don't need anymore. Yalk for delegate.
No, I
So-
hate it. I really do, though.
So outside of Ghost, who probably won't run, and Bootsie, who is running,
hmm
could you see anyone else out of the current government officials running?
I don't
Ugh.
see anyone else running for this one.
Honestly, no one. I don't see anyone else taking interest so much in delegacy. That I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Sawale. Who knows? He might come out of the woodworks.
So, as important as the delegacy is, what other people do you see running for, say, the vice delegacy or the speakership this time around?
The speakership is occupied. And will forever be occupied.
It's Dark seat for as long as he wants it.
I mean,
Pretty much.
So the problem with speaker is the only time a new speaker happens is when the old one just is like, I'm not doing it again, so you gotta have to figure it out. And then
who was the last incumbent to get beaten? RPI maybe?
Jeez, I don't know.
Crushing our enemy's win over him?
Let's see, I think Pele's first term was after Zyvet decided to go for justice instead.
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know.
Between that and Attorney General, they're both roles that vastly favour incumbency more than like the delegacy and vice delegacy, which do favour incumbency, but not to the same extent. Like what has Goyan's done, who is one of my favourite people, but the Attorney General's office is inactive as all hell.
Pretty much.
Which is a good thing. Like, they've not had much to do.
Let's see. Jeez, I don't know who else would run for the vice delegacy. I mean, the vice delegacy is probably the one most capable of being upturned from the incumbency from recent memory. Most notably when Keish ran for a second term as vice delegate and got upturned by Sawale.
I mean,
I would enjoy a rematch.
Keish isn't in the SC anymore and doesn't seem to want to be. He's currently in the NPA.
Yeah, he
I mean, he's right here, but, you know.
Look, he's here, but he's not here.
If
He's
Lord didn't
currently
run
recording everything we say about him so that he can use this in a future blackmail campaign against us if we ever run.
He's here
If
with
Lord
that.
didn't-
Sorry, go.
I keep getting talked over. If Lord didn't run for justice, I totally could have seen him running for vice delegate.
See, actually, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say Lore, and then I was like, wait a minute, he's already a justice.
So out
I mean,
of people who
I wonder if McSalterson will come back out of RP and try a run for the vice delegacy. People have tried to push him to the vice delegacy a few times now.
Why?
let's have a combined Syrixia McSalterson ticket.
Oh my god.
I mean, you got everything wrong with that. It's a ticket, like number one. It's sodium in the vice delegacy. Aren't you supposed to know people and like have relations?
Whoa, we're getting let's
He's a former gameside advocate. He's a former deputy minister. He's a former roleplay moderator.
I want you to understand that he was a former gameside advocate, and because of his lack of presence in doing his job, we now have the current situation.
What's wrong with the current situation, Yalkan?
There's nothing wrong with the current situation. I'm saying that is why it has happened. Right?
So you're saying that he did a good job.
And thus should be the vice delegate. I agree.
Oh my god. I'm saying that just like I don't want people who only show up. All right? It's not cool.
So are you running for Attorney General then?
Yes.
You
I'd
heard
like
it here
to see a
first, folks.
Yalkan Attorney Generalship.
The Northern Broadcast Service, the latest for all the breaking news. Yalkan is running for the Attorney General.
I
would love to see Yalkan being Attorney General.
Well,
I keep forgetting that that's part of this election cycle. I always group it still with the judicial one.
I hate that too. Like I don't hate it. Like I just find it odd. I mean, I get it, but then it's still odd. I don't know.
I've always found it odd that it's an elected position, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so,
that's because I'm British.
I mean, who would appoint it though?
The delegate.
Yeah, but then like if it's an appointed position by the delegate, the delegate can dismiss them at any point, and oftentimes the attorney general, if anything goes down, they have a very adversarial position against the delegate.
I mean, no, I get that. No, I'm saying it's just why aren't they voted in like at the same time as like the justices and stuff? You know, that's
Because it's a government official rather than like a judicial one. Like it's an executive official.
I know, but it's sort of like I'm not thinking in terms of like what branches you're a part of. I'm thinking in terms of like theme.
Attorney General is maybe the most like badge role there is. Like it's all badge.
What's going
outside of like 2 weeks a year where they might have to do something. Well, there's a minor scandal or something of some kind. Aside from that, it's just all badge.
All I'm saying is that if anyone ever brought anything to me as agent, I would just say no because I can, and that's great.
I mean, that's not the worst one I've ever heard. Like, Govindia in TMP isn't the same as Govindia in Boulder. That was, I think, an attorney general said to me.
Amazing.
Like, the only way you can really fail as an attorney general is to not be around. Like to the point where you either lose your citizenship or you're not there in the 2 weeks a year where the attorney general is important. Or you promise to do loads of things.
And then you don't do those things.
And you post a Toon platform.
Oh,
basically. The concept is still a Toon platform because Toon embodies the entire concept. No, if you go back and look at every platform Toon has ever posted, they'd achieve in a term maybe 10%.
I mean, that's just lowballing. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Toon, not a lot of promises.
All right. Now, before we move on from the topic of general election, real quick, for the speaker race, do you think anyone will run against me, and do you think they will also vote for me?
You'll get a joke campaign against you, but it'll be a joke because they're running against you.
I mean, honestly, the only person who could possibly contest you at this point is maybe Cyvet, and he's maybe Ghost will just maybe try to push you out. That way you got to run for delegate next time. You can't complain about work.
Oh, Ghost has to run now.
I know, right? Oh my goodness.
One final thing before we move on: is there anyone who doesn't particularly have like a prominent government role who you could see running for something?
Wait, sorry?
Like, is there a citizen or some like a deputy minister or someone like that who you could see running, even if they won't do particularly well? Like someone to watch in 2 races' time.
Okay, okay.
I think Salams could be one of them.
Yeah, Plums, they could do well. I would say,
WA deputy ministers, I think they could, if not win, they could make a presence known in a race they go into. The current WA ministers are pretty well known and execute things very well, so.
I don't know. Lozinak has got that spirit. Lozinak, you gonna run for anything?
I'd like to, but my military commitments will take me away for more than 2 months this summer.
Your military commitments. Come on, what is that?
Lozinak saving the world, guys.
Yeah, saving the
Fort Knox,
America! Fuck yeah!
So maybe when I come back, probably have to rebuild my name though.
You filthy, filthy Raider Fenda.
Both, Jesus.
I know. Yeah.
All right, we have to mark him. Let me give him the game player role.
There
we go.
Yeah, maybe next time.
I mean, even with 2 months commitment, that's still pretty good. You're only absent for 2 months. That's half a term. That's
Only half.
That's enough.
Half a term is forever in TNP.
Yeah,
That's true.
yes. So don't even question. Oh goodness. All right,
Let's
moving
see.
on.
The next topic is the new Security Council members.
That we don't need. No,
Currently, we have 3 applicants who are in all 3 stages of joining the SC. We have Syl Dorset, currently at vote to be admitted by the Regional Assembly. We have Lord Lore, whose application is currently in discussion by the Regional Assembly. And then we have Gladio, who's currently being voted on for whether to be nominated by the Security Council.
Awesome.
Pretty likely they'll all go through.
I think so. Yeah, I would be amused to see into the Security Council private forum. That would be. I would like to see those conversations one day. Is it covered by the Freedom of Information law?
No, because they're not executive. They're
Damn
not
it.
part of the delegates government.
Oh, Wallace is going to run for vice delegate.
Yeah, that's he has not enough of a name for himself to get more than 1 vote for himself.
I don't know who he is.
See, there you go.
Oh, I just saw your comment.
How many security counselors is this going to put us at? Because I mean, who's going
A lot.
to say who's going to vote no?
10.
I mean,
think 10.
how many have we lost in recent months?
2.
2, and we're getting 3 more.
I mean, can you really have enough Security Council members?
No.
Yeah, well,
Can
we have
can you
also
ever be
passed.
too secure?
Yes, yes, you can. Look, I at least in my view, is that as a security counselor, if you can't log in every fucking 3 days, show up, literally post a number in whatever
in the spam threads?
in spam threads, endorse some dudes that have endorsed you.
You don't even have to post as a security counselor. You just have to log in and maintain a nation and maintain the World Assembly nation.
I mean, yeah. To me, lose it like people who have lost their security counselorship or whatever over the fact that they like CTE or they just didn't post or like they
Neither of the 2 security council members who ceased to exist were removed by Sawale. Later on, Plemphobia, who did CTE, he was dismissed later on, but that was because he failed to log into the forum for 2 weeks.
I mean, that's still a part of this whole like. It's not hard. Just do it.
Yeah, like especially over how long it took to get him through the RA to begin with.
Yeah.
That took,
like he really should have tried harder.
I'm just saying, and then I mean, I understand the scramble to get new security counselors, but it's like at this point, like maybe like are there other security counselors that are like not exactly active?
McMasterny was away for a week and people lost their shit. It was funny.
That's hilarious. That's amazing.
And when Raven was fully divorced from NS
Mm-hmm.
for 2 weeks or so,
Mm-hmm.
that I assume made some people both relieved and worried.
Yeah. I mean, all right. I mean, it's good. All right, look, yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good we're getting security counselors. I'm just hoping the trend ends soon because if you're just gonna get security, it's like might as well take anybody.
Yeah, well, no, we're kind of at WA saturation at this point.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Like we have so many endos on so many people that really there's nowhere for them to go but Security Council if they wanted it.
It's like
it's gonna be really interesting to see the RA deal with more with more Security Council applications because I assume they're coming.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm. Yeah. There's. I feel like there's going to be more.
Well, we did see that one denial of American Maple story, but that might have something to do with that weird coup attempt back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, he had nothing to do with that telegram.
I know. I'm just saying his name got attached to it, unfortunately.
Well, it's just that like he hasn't made a name for himself otherwise, and they
That's-
discounted the whole like he was not involved in that telegram, but you still like he still had made no other name for himself and was not proven to be trustworthy otherwise. And
Well,
you
did he
really
make the
need to be
account just to
trustworthy for
join the
that.
Security Council?
What was that?
Did he make the account just to join the Security Council? Because I don't think I've ever seen.
No, he'd been around for a while before then. He maintained citizenship for a while.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Honestly,
Oh man.
what the funny thing is, I'm just considering moving my WA into TNP and OTARDing and then applying to join the SC myself.
I mean, that's just another thing you're gonna have to deal with.
I mean,
mean,
it's one step closer to the Dragon delegacy.
I mean, it would
usually,
put less of a load on me because one, I wouldn't be acting guilty over being inactive in the NPA, but also like Sawale's been bugging me a lot about the level of access I have as an admin, and that would just lighten that load off my back.
I mean, not to put it bluntly, Sawale can
I'm amused by Sawale
can eat a bag of potatoes.
Does he have to eat them raw, or can he mash them up first?
Raw, no skinning. You got to eat those little growths on the outside too.
He's got to put him in a stew.
I mean, wouldn't you become delegate? Like most delegates, then go on to become a they become security counselor during their delegacy.
Yeah, most
isn't-
most security counselors become that like during or after their tenure in the delegacy or the vice delegacy.
Yeah.
And in
That's what
fact,
it's-
like holding an elected position like that is one of the, you don't have to, but like that's one of the standards they hold you up to is whether you've proven yourself in an elected position.
Well, I've been elected by. I'm just no.
Not by choice, by
Not by
force.
choice. Yeah, by process of elimination, I was elected.
I mean, you beat out Kagoria.
Oh my goodness! I did. I don't even
Yes.
remember.
Kagoria was also running in that election, so there are 4 candidates. And
I had no.
And I think you actually voted for Kagoria because it's like, okay, this guy's actually better than me.
Yeah, probably.
And then you won anyway because you had more name recognition as the minister of
what?
shite. As the minister of shite.
What? That's like. See, this is something that I'm actually like. I'm kind of like not secretly, but like I'm sort of testing. Like, if I just hang around long enough, if I hang around long enough, and then I run for something like of serious, like repertoire. What's the word? Is it repertoire? I don't know.
Or a resume, whatever.
Yeah. And
If you ran for attorney general, it might be a close race against Gorianas.
Whoa. We are not insulting the Ministry of Culture with the Minister of Culture right here. Because I have taken a dumpster fire and I'm turning it into not a dumpster fire. So...
Well, you have about a month to do it before the next elections.
Hey, we're pushing out products. Don't worry.
I'm impressed by the current work going on within the culture ministry, as probably the only person in the ministry who was there 4 years ago.
I wouldn't know. I resigned a while back.
I quit that so hard.
Well,
I mean,
I resigned from the Ministry of World Assembly Affairs, and then after that, I was like, well, I'm not in every ministry anymore. Let's just get rid of all the others too.
Well, I might drag you people in to do some tests and stuff.
Please, nothing physical.
Nah, just a fun thing.
Okay, cool. I love culture. Whatever happened to the anime days?
I mean, say what you want
yeah.
about culture as it is right now. It's better than it was, better than the Ministry of Defense was under Palate's first term.
Yeah.
I honestly thought you were going to say under mouth.
Wasn't that you? Oh my goodness. I love that conversation. That was such a fun conversation with Ghost. Let's get this over with. Do you want to beat? No. It's fantastic. He hates. I know he secretly hates me for it too. It's okay.
Like Yolk, you have the name now to if you want to be not the top executive position, but one of the lower ones, you could totally do it.
Yeah, no.
You have enough of a name for yourself.
Yeah, but that's still hilarious. I've done nothing. I've done nothing. Absolutely jack diddly. Anyway, it's okay.
Further confirming you're a run at Attorney General.
Yeah, really.
But anyway, here you are doing nothing, but you're railing on people for not logging in.
Also, can I dispute the fact that you've done nothing, considering you do this?
You do this. You've been a justice before. You've been a gameside advocate person before, an R&B guardian.
Okay,
you were a prominent person in the Ministry of Gameside Affairs when that was a thing.
Like in terms of profile, you're in a great place to launch a career at any ministry or any executive role you want, bar the delegacy.
Right.
You could probably get the delegacy by January if you wanted to.
If you had political ambitions.
But I don't, because that's
so we must thrust you into the seats of power.
Oh man.
Yeah, I promised Yolk that if I ever became delegate, I would insist on him being one of my ministers.
Would you make the Ministry of Shite?
Who is typing?
Loz, can you not please?
Yeah, that was me. All right.
It's like you're taking your finger and you're stabbing it into my eardrums, and I'm just kidding. Yeah, minister. I would love any ministership. I'm just kidding. I would not love any ministership. Culture, no, because I would suck at it, and I would just laugh at myself sucking at it.
But that self-awareness is an indication of maturity and future growth.
As Minister of Defense, if I was a Minister of Defense, I would not give two flying shits about foreign relations. That's a position that you actually have to be quite aware of, other regions' ongoings to figure out what you're doing.
No, you don't. You could be like Melf and just have the delegate take care of that.
Well, the point is the orders are supposed to come from the delegate, but since Gladio is he came out of the minute, that's why it's running very smoothly. Not to.
Melf is literally just around to take care of the paperwork while Gladio does the work.
Mouse in a similar position to any foreign minister under Raven.
Yeah.
It's not his fault that his delegate is someone who's almost their entire career has been the Ministry of Defense.
It's not your fault, but it's a good place to be because you get to reap all the reward. And you you ran such a great ministership, and you're just totally me, guys. You're great. You're great. You're a great minister. I swear, though, you're running ops that are way too not to hate, but ops that are 16 jumps, dude. Come on, just give 3. I
Hey,
just
we
want
got records to beat.
Who gives a shit about records?
Remember, this is a video game, man. That's all we have here.
it's not progress. I could
It's
argue.
a text-based game.
I could argue the fact that because you are making your jumps now so hard, you will start to see a dwindling amount of commitment. All right? If you start low and then slowly increase, you would get a better solid base. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, when Malfi said that, let me check the logs. I mean, we've been more active this term than ever.
Yeah, because the officers in Gladio are doing all the real work.
I mean, that's
all of the NPA's officers at this point.
I mean,
Wow, the shots.
correct. No, but
Unless you count the paperwork. At which point he has 2 deputies to help him out.
that's true. That is true. He does have 2 deputies. I mean, yeah, you got. I'm not saying you don't have the most active. All right, but it could be more. So you're talking about progress, but it could be more.
Feel free to come help us out, Yolk.
No. Why would I?
Yalkan can't jump.
I can't. I can't play basketball. Moving on. Speaking of jumping, and the wonderful liberations. In the WA, are we actually gonna liberate them? Are we gonna liberate TEP?
That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much
I
guaranteed
mean, that
to pass.
passed. They have that
Yeah.
badge on their page now.
Exactly. Are we gonna do that? Should we start the op now? Let's go, guys. I'll just sit here waiting forever. What are the current ones in the W? Like, what are the current
I
ones?
think we should go back to the one that really started the current trend
Isn't
and
that
just
Liberate
work our way
Kaiser,
through
right?
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. That's what caused me to resign from the Ministry of World Assembly Affairs.
So for the people who don't know, Kaiserreich is they claim to be a region that is pro the German Empire. Others say, and they have some convincing evidence backing them up, that Kaiserreich is a Nazi or fascist region. And there are screenshots from their Discord where they say some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. Pardon my language. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
It's radio.
Yeah.
Just
So, like, I would say, on balance of probabilities, Kaiserreich, at the very least, you could call fascist and or Nazi without there being too much controversy in terms of the facts of the situations. I mean, their old forum was I'm pretty sure they had a swastika on there, or some kind of Nazi regalia. And so somebody, I forget who proposed the resolution, but I believe it was a Cormac idea, proposed the liberation on that region in the event that when they lose their founder, because these regions always lose their founder, they would not be able to put a password on the region, and so would be vulnerable to... I'm about to laugh because Valve just said they're calling these resolutions neo-liberations, which is kind of amazing. So that
Real
region
quick,
would be vulnerable to cleansing.
Real quick, for point of order, the original Liberate Kaiserreich, the one that's passed and currently in effect, was proposed by Len Levitt.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know who the author was, but I believe they were going off of an idea Cormac had when someone tried to condemn them. It goes back anyway to liberate Nazi Europe, which was possibly the last time every GCR worked together in the WA. I don't know if every GCR was for this liberate Kaiserreich resolution, but they weren't. But they were the ones who got together, discussed, and proposed liberate Nazi Europe, which in the end wasn't needed. but it was a nice thing to have and amused me at the. I'll also say I contributed to this idea because I proposed liberate the Greater German Reich a few years back when I still existed, and that actually got to vote even though it lost. I don't know why I'm saying sorry, I'm filling
I mean,
dead air.
at this point, it started off a whole bunch of. It started off the trend of just liberating instead of condemning, and just it seems condemns are just out of favor now, even though, like, condemns really should still be a thing, but people are just jumping straight to liberations instead, since they see it as the actual condemnations now. Like, even for TEP, they proposed a liberation, even though it should have just been stuck at a condemnation, because it was an in-character thing that happened where where the April Fool's thing of taking over, that was an in-character thing, not an out-of-character thing like Nazi Europe. And while condemnations are pretty much seen as badges of honor, that's kind of how I view that they should be. Like, they should be rewarded for people who play the bad guy well. So it should have been used for TEP for what was going on at the time. But instead it was a liberation, even though that's more reserved for actual actions of, like, actually liberating and removing a password, and that's completely useless on a feeder, especially one as large as the East Pacific. And it really waters down the meaning of what the WA agreed on with the Liberate Kaiserreich, where it's not so much a condemnation, a badge of honor for out of character horrible actions. Instead it's a condemnation with teeth now, but that's just not. People just see it as that now. They're just a replacer for condemnations now. And while I still agree with the original Liberate Kaiserreich, people are still narrowing down what exactly that should mean for the WA now.
Well, the argument came down to should the SC be weaponized, right? But I kind of feel like that's the whole point of the SC in the first place.
Well, the point of the SC to begin with wasn't that, and it's only with liberations, and only in really recent years where you've seen them be used more and more as weapons. Like, Liberate Nazi Europe was an early success in inverted commas that didn't lead to anything. It just concentrated Nazi forces in that region for a time, and when that region fell, didn't have anything to do with the liberation. I believe the liberation might have even been repealed at that point. Before that, there was a Liberate Haven proposal by a region that themselves we might have liberated. No, I believe we voted against a liberation for them when one part of the native community decided to grief the region and move elsewhere. And then there was Mao's Liberate Haven, and then Shadow Atheris's Liberate Haven, which caused my death.
We are gathered here today to mourn the loss of StGeorge.
What a piece.
We're not sure exactly what he did. Probably some cool things, I don't know. But now he's with us in TNP, where he really matters.
I would vote for Liberate Mouth.
Liberate Mouth from his position as the Minister of Defense.
Well, he has a region as well.
Of course he does. Why did I ever doubt?
All right, who wants to rate it?
I think Zaz already did. Zaz, did you rate that?
Well, he's currently muted because he's not in the actual broadcast.
Answer in the Agora.
He will say soon enough. No, he is saying no, I did not, and that I'm the best there ever was.
Okay, so we're running a little bit short on time, and should we move on? Did we really say anything about the liberations in the WA? Thinking about it.
I think we said all we're gonna say about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the RA. Someone proposed a tweak to the citizenship oath.
Crushing our enemies did.
Someone.
That counts.
Crushing our enemies is a someone.
Or something. Well, I mean, what does it tweak? What is the whole point? What isn't it like?
It removes the whole roleplay element where you take the oath as the leader of your nation, and instead you just take the oath as yourself, and then also separately post your nation for record keeping.
I see.
Which both makes sense and also it's slightly annoying because it moves TMP further away from becoming the roleplay GTR paradise it should be.
I mean, well, no, I mean, I think it's good because it actually would separate the fact that like people would confuse like what parts are RP and what is not, you know, or at least what I mean. Technically, TNP is still also RP. It's just a different kind of RP. But you know, that's semantics. That's different.
Gameplay RP
is still a thing.
It's still a
strange
thing.
And confusing, and don't get into the details too much.
It's scary.
Increasingly blurred.
Malf, we can't make TNP a purely RD region. We already have a purely RD GCR known as Lazarus.
Oh goodness. I mean, does everyone have to retake the oath, or is there going to be like some?
I don't believe
No,
so.
it's grandfather.
No, you won't have to retake the oath. You'll still be a citizen.
All right, cool. I'll just retake it just for shits and giggles. Why not?
Rejected for being a shite.
That's fine. Wait, so if you reject my oath, does that mean I'm no longer a citizen?
I actually can't strip your citizenship directly unless the law says I can. That's up to the courts to strip your citizenship.
All right, well, let's have this thing passed. I want to do that. I want to let's get the courts rolling. Oh man.
The R4Rs are over, but that doesn't mean you get to rest on your laurels, court.
Yeah, no, right? You may have made a ruling that makes sense-ish, but not today.
No rulings make sense to the court.
Well, one thing we missed when we talked about the courts actually is that Scorch is now the Chief Justice, so he'll actually have more to do.
Oh, right. I wanted to figure out who was Chief Justice.
Yeah, it's Scorch now.
Scorch is Chief Justice. That's I feel bad for Scorch. That's pain. That's painful. That's ooh.
That'll be interesting to see how active they actually are, and if they aren't active as Chief Justice, then
that's a big problem.
That's very questionable.
No, I mean, no. Scorch is active, and like you don't have to be super active as a justice. You really don't.
Yeah, he's active enough, but we'll
yeah,
see if he's active enough for chief. I'm sure he will be but like he also has the election commission as well and all that stuff.
Yeah, man, what is the deal with the election commission? Like, why are they appointed for so long?
Because otherwise they could only be appointed for like one election.
But wouldn't that be better?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh well.
With the involved process of appointing them, which is this, basically, it's not quite as involved as the Security Council, but it's just about as involved.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, that would be annoying, and also like it will remove this. Like, I think kind of the point was to have like a central like people who understand and contribute to keeping a base of how elections are run.
Hey, we're getting shut down by Casher, guys.
Yeah.
Time for the wrap up. Quick.
Yeah, this has been
start wrapping.
This has been the Northern Broadcasting Service, brought to you by the Ministry of Communications and Minister Caish. I have been Darcania, joined by Bootsie.
These are lies! You're not Darcania! No.
And Lozinak, and StGeorge, and
Goodbye.
some other dude. I think his name's Yalkan.
Bye!
See ya. I'll be hanging out in the Agora voice chat afterwards if anyone else wants to join up.